Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us for another instalment in our What's Your Story interviews with the OCC members. Today I'm talking to Helen Joy from People Spark. So welcome, Helen.
Hello, thank you for having me.
No, you're very welcome. So tell us a little bit about People Spark.
Well, People Spark has been going as a business for 7 years, but we rebranded in the summer in the midst of a pandemic last year because the old name didn't really talk about what we do. And the way I see it is that I'm the spark that comes into your business and helps you change and motivate and drive your people to be better at delivering their job. So it's all around the soft skills. It's very much around working with people to create the environment where your business can be successful.
So you're an external coaching business, or would you call yourself something different?
It's more of so I'm a management and leadership specialist, really.
Right.
So I work with teams of managers in businesses generally. I don't tend to do open courses. I'll work with a business, with their managers to help them develop their skills so that they're actually successful. That's just typical, isn't it? There's my dog. So that they're actually best able to support and develop their own teams as well.
Right. Okay. So do you, when you go into a business, do you go in as a like a day course, or is it a program, or how do you work with the businesses you're partnering with?
I don't believe one day works. I genuinely don't. I think, you can bring someone in and say, right, teach them this model and this theory, but then nothing changes in the business. So my preferred method is to go in and work on a program basis. So for example, I'm talking to a client at the moment. They're growing. They've got massive growth plans for this year. And they're very conscious that most of the people in their business have just been kind of put into those management roles. They haven't been taught how to do the people stuff. They're brilliant technically, but they're not necessarily as good as they can be at the people. So what we're doing is we're putting together a 9-month program where we'll do 2-hour slots once a week for a month, and then we'll have a month off, and we'll cover all the different key areas that they need developing in over that period of time.
Yeah, it's great that business is identifying the fact that people are technically good, but actually you have to give them the management skills to be able to manage people, and so many businesses don't do that.
Oh, so many businesses, James, so many businesses. And none of it's rocket science. It's actually quite simple to do. It's just people have never been shown. And I think I'm very lucky. I come from a big corporate background where I got all of this training all the time before I actually stepped into delivering it. And when people have come from big corporate, they're a bit more kind of aware of what is available. But when people have only ever worked in a small business, they're just not necessarily, they don't know what they don't know, and they don't know just little things that can make such a big difference. Sometimes it can be one model or one method of giving feedback that can completely change a team dynamics. It's amazing. Just
the simple thing of saying, thank you for doing that, even though it's part of somebody's job, actually, that's worth more than anything. The fact that you've acknowledged that he's done a good job.
Yeah, and being really good at setting expectations and really good at helping people to understand exactly what the outputs of their role should be, not what the physical things they do, but what they're delivering and where that fits in with the rest of the business and the impact that has on the customer, completely changes somebody's relationship with the day-to-day elements of their job as well. And again, not hard to do, just people haven't necessarily realized that will have such a big impact.
It's about empowering your management team to be able to be better managers and trusting them too, isn't it?
Oh yes, yeah. And you do find businesses that go, well, I can't trust them to do it because they don't do it well. And it's like, well, they don't do it well because nobody's ever shown them how to do it well. And sometimes people who've set up their own businesses can be the world's worst for doing it. So as the business gets bigger, because you do everything your way and you do everything the way that you believe is right and that has worked for you so far, but then your business gets to a certain level and you're having to hand that responsibility over to other people, and your style might not be their style. No. That might be that they need to do something in a different way to get the same results that you might. Yeah. But that can be a challenge for some people as well.
But that's also a thing about relinquishing control, and as small business owners, because we have to be a jack of all trades at all things. Yeah. It's very hard unless unless you're very confident in yourself to release that control, isn't it?
Oh yes, and I struggle with that.
Yeah,
I'm a control freak. But it's weird. I'm not a control freak in other people's businesses. I can go into other people's business and go, this is what this is how you could do it differently. But when it comes to my own stuff, so I do completely with those smaller businesses, I completely understand where that leadership team is coming from, because it is really hard getting to that point where you trust people. But your job as the founder, owner, when you're running a business, is to give every member of your team all the skills, support and knowledge that they need to be able to deliver what you expect them to do. And it is stripping it right back to that level and saying, right, what does everybody need to deliver this strategy and this vision that you've got for your business?
So do you find being a small business owner yourself actually gives you a level of credibility and a comparison that allows you to be even more powerful when you go into another small business?
I think so.
Your experiences are comparable to theirs, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is that real sense of being able to sit there and say, I understand how difficult this is, but if we can get them to this level, would you then feel comfortable? Or you tell me where they need to be for you to feel comfortable to hand over. And what's been really interesting over the last year, because prior to the summer, I worked primarily with bigger businesses because they needed to have a large number of people to make it financially worth their while to kind of send everyone out for the day and to do the whole program. What's happened since the summer is I'm working with much smaller businesses, because this makes it so much more viable. It makes it so much easier to just have 2 or 3 managers. And so I've gone from working with probably an average of about 60 people in a business right down to my smallest business that I'm dealing with has got 9 people in the UK.
Wow.
And 2 people who are responsible for other people's delivery of their workload. And I'm working really closely with those 2. And it's brilliant because we do it remotely. We do it in a way that fits for them. We do a 1.5, 2 hour session once a week. And then we have follow-up, we have actions. And then we have a month off where they implement what they've learned. And then we have a catch up, and then we start and go, right, okay, well, now we'll try the next one. And we'll move on to the next element of it. So it works really, really well. And it's been a massive journey to get to there, having gone through the panic in March when everybody went, we're not doing face-to-face training. And oh my God, well, that's my business, to actually, I can do things differently, and I can work with different businesses, and I can work with those smaller businesses that I feel as passionate about, because if you can get those foundations right when you're small, you're creating absolutely the right environment for that growth and to allow your business to go as far as not go beyond your own personal limitations, which is what happens with small businesses.
Really, really exciting. And you can see the passion that you've got for it as well. So
I get a bit excited about it.
Yeah, and that's really, that's what we all want to see. We connect with people who are passionate and genuine about their businesses. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about collaboration. I mean, obviously, being in the OCC, we're very much about building dream teams. So I wondered how collaboration works within your business.
I'm a massive, massive fan of collaboration. I know personally I do my best work when I'm working with other people, which is why I love going into a business and working really closely with them. What the OCC's done is it's really helped me establish some of those relationships. So, for example, Evelyn and I have done quite a few webinars together where we've done them for free, and we have helped specific areas where we've provided support and guidance for people that certainly in the early days of lockdown 1, where we put quite a few bits together. And it's great because Evelyn and I work we work really well together. We've got a very similar style, at least a very similar approach. And my methodology moving forward is that I've got a training needs analysis for managers. And one of the areas on there is well-being and mental health and well-being. Now, if that flags as an issue for a client, that's not my experience, that's not my background, but I know that I can bring Evelyn in. I did speak to her first. I can bring Evelyn in, and I've got that absolute trust that I can put her in front of my clients and be really confident in what she'll deliver for them. And then on the other side is Zoe from Harwood HR, and I work really, really well together and really closely together. And I've gone in and delivered training for her clients where she's gone in and solved the initial problem that causes them to bring HR in, and then she's sorted that out, and then I can come in and help them prevent it happening in the future. Okay. And so it works really well.
No, it's really nice that you've got that 360-degree solution by collaborating with other members of the OCC as well. So really exciting.
Yeah, because this is it. As a small business, you can't do everything and you can't be everything, and to have a trusted network of people that you speak to and you see regularly and you interact with regularly, suddenly you become so much more valuable to your clients because you can bring in trusted supporters and advisors. And Jill and I have been doing some stuff together as well. So we've got into this new Clubhouse, and we've been co-hosting some sessions on Clubhouse as well. So all around interviews and getting jobs and that kind of thing as well, which has been an exciting new way to go.
Good. And I mean, I think the other exciting thing about the OCC is that obviously we are quite a diverse range of businesses as well, but the point was to build dream teams and to have these collaborative approaches to work, so that actually our members could have a more rounded approach and be able to have a better customer experience without going, I can't do that, or so really, really exciting. So in your business, what is the one thing that gets you out of bed in the morning?
I think it's when I know, because I make a difference. I go into a business, and I'm, the beauty of having your own business is that being able to choose who you work with. And so for me, it's around the people who are going to invest not just the time and money with me, but in their business as well. And I'm so lucky at the moment because I've picked up new clients this year, which is phenomenal, because I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but actually it's been really busy. And they are all people who are really engaged with the whole concept of how this is going to change their business, how this is going to improve the skills of their managers, who are then going to be able to improve the skills of their team, which means that the customer's going to get a better experience, which means they're going to grow. And to work with people who get all that and who are committed to putting that into their business is just, it's for me, it's the people piece, the relationships. It is being so lucky to work with such phenomenal people.
So do you not think that that's come out of 2020 in the fact that those businesses that are investing in their people are actually the businesses that are probably the best at adapting to the new world? Whereas, so that's why they're dynamic and exciting. Whereas some of those older businesses that are maybe a bit more stagnant and haven't been so adaptive, and probably not the people you're going to be engaging with, even though you want to, but actually they aren't in that, they're not in that flow of being adaptable in the same way.
Yeah, definitely. It's really exciting because it gives me the opportunity to work with those smaller businesses that have that energy, that have that ability to spin where they're going and shift what they're doing and just respond to their customers, respond to the market. And it is just, what seems to have come out of 2020 is there is a lot more, and I remember starting the summer and thinking, God, I hope this is what happens. People are so much more conscious of how important their people are to the success of their business. And if one good thing has come out of last year, it is that businesses are starting to see that it's not necessarily just about the bottom line. It is about delivering an environment for your people that enables them to be at their best, which enables everybody to grow. And I think that's been really driven home by the fact that we've all been so isolated and so separated from each other. I think we are all craving that human contact and connection so much more than we did this time last year.
Good, brilliant. So my final question is, obviously 2020 has been a really exciting year for you. So what do you see happening in your business in 2021, and how might that feed into the OCC?
Well, the biggest and most exciting thing that came out of 2020 for me was the creation of a couple of new products, because I'd never had products before. So the first thing is training needs analysis. So 2 different training needs analysis. One for managers, so focusing on soft skills. So all those things that managers need to be really good at to be fantastic managers. And then another one, which was generated through a client, which is soft skills for the rest of your team. And I think because of the way that we're working now, those soft skills are not as easy to come by. We don't have the coffee chats, we don't have the lift chats, we don't have the sitting on the train chats. And this is it. It's, you know, we're just, you know, you have the chat with yourself and your dog, don't you? You know, and it is that bit of giving businesses the opportunity to go, right, this is where we are. So they'll do the training needs analysis, this is where we are, and then I'll help them with their own internal solutions. So how can they change what they do and how they do things? It's not just about, yes, I'll come in and help you with that. It's not at all. It's more about, right, what can you do for yourselves? So there's that element. And the great thing about that as well is that one of the elements on there is the well-being. So that's where Evelyn would be able to come in and help with that. Again, there's the stuff around the HR processes, so some space to kind of help that collaboration with Zoe. And also focusing around DISC profiling. So
what's
using
DISC profiling?
So DISC profiling is a communication preference model. And what that looks at is the fact that we all have one of 4 key preferences. We have a dominant, an influencer, a steadiness, and a conscientious. And we're all a mix of all of them, but we will all have a dominant characteristic. And mine is very much that influencer, the talkative, noisy, likes people, loves being around people. And what that helps to do is, again, highlight the fact that we're sort of drifting apart as teams at the moment because we're not all in the same space. And what it does is it highlights maybe why we might have a particular challenge with a member of our team. And it helps you as an individual understand your style, helps you understand your team's style, but how you can change your behaviours and how you communicate with other people in order to get the best relationship that you can, because we can't change anyone other than ourselves.
Yeah,
so it's not about
it's really good. So that's about understanding the differences, the gaps, and then filling them so that actually those relationships are better. Great, brilliant. So thank you, Helen. That's been really insightful. It's been really interesting chatting to you today. So I'd really like to thank you for your time and coming on board to do the What's Your Story interview today.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.